These are stories where love meets betrayal. Stories that make you see life a little differently.
Rain had been falling since morning, slow and patient, as if it had nowhere else to go. I watched the drops slide down the glass, one after another, racing, separating, merging again. Some of them reached the bottom, some disappeared halfway, just like promises. I used to love rainy days. They made the world quieter, more honest. They gave me an excuse to stay inside, wrapped in a blanket, believing that love could protect me from everything outside. That day, I didn't know the rain would become my only witness. I am not telling this story to accuse him. I am telling it because silence almost destroyed me. My name doesn't matter anymore. What matters is what I believed and what I lost. I met him on a rainy evening. Of course I did. The cafe was small, warm, smelling of coffee and wet coats. The kind of place where people come to escape weather and loneliness at the same time. He was sitting alone by the window, looking outside, not at his phone. That should have been my first sign. When I asked if the seat was free, he smiled in a way that felt familiar. Not flirtatious, not rehearsed, just tired and kind. We talked about nothing important. The rain, books, why the city feels different at night. I didn't notice how 2 hours disappeared. I didn't notice how easily I laughed. I didn't notice how safe I felt. That was the beginning. He became my routine, my good morning message, my voice at the end of exhausting days. He listened, really listened. When I spoke about my fears, he didn't interrupt. When I cried, he didn't try to fix me. He just stayed. I told myself this was rare, that this was real. Love doesn't arrive loudly. It settles quietly, like rain soaking into the ground. We moved in together after a year, on another rainy day. Boxes everywhere, wet footprints on the floor, laughter echoing between empty walls. This place will hear our entire life, he said, and I believed him. I believed every word. Our evenings were slow. Tea, soft light, rain tapping on the windows. I thought happiness was supposed to feel exactly like that. Simple, uneventful, safe. But safety can become invisible, and invisibility can become neglect. The first change was small, so small I almost missed it. He started coming home later, not every night, just sometimes. Work is crazy, he said. I nodded, because that's what trust does. It nods. His phone became quieter, always face down, always close. I didn't want to be that woman, the suspicious one, the insecure one. Love should not require investigation, or so I believed. Rain began to feel different, heavier, louder. One evening, I asked him if everything was okay, not accusing, just asking. He smiled, that same familiar smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. Of course, he said, you worry too much. Those words stayed with me. They echoed in my head long after he fell asleep. I started noticing silences, gaps between us, moments where his mind was clearly elsewhere. Sometimes he smiled at his phone, quickly, almost guiltily. I told myself not to imagine things. Imagination is dangerous when you love deeply. The rain outside never stopped. It felt like it was waiting, patient, like the truth. The night I found out, nothing dramatic happened at first. No screaming, no confrontation, just a message. I wasn't supposed to see it. I was looking for a recipe on his tablet. Mine was dead. The rain had knocked out the power again. The screen lit up softly. A notification appeared. Can't stop thinking about last night. No name, just a heart emoji. My hands went cold. The room felt smaller. The rain suddenly too loud. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Sometimes one sentence is enough to collapse an entire world. I sat there for a long time, listening to the rain, listening to my own breathing. When he came out of the shower, I didn't look at him. I couldn't. He noticed immediately. He always did. "What's wrong?" he asked. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the tablet at him. I wanted to disappear. Instead, I asked quietly, "Who is she?" Silence. The rain filled it instantly. He didn't deny it. That hurt more than any lie could have. "It's not what you think," he said. And somehow that was worse. He talked, explained, minimized. He said it just started. He said he was confused. He said he never meant to hurt me. I listened, but I wasn't there anymore. I was standing somewhere far away, watching my life break apart in slow motion. I asked him one question, just one. "Did you love her?" He hesitated. Rain has a sound when it hits broken glass. That's what my heart sounded like then. "I don't know," he said. Not no, not yes. I realized something important in that moment. Love doesn't survive uncertainty. It drowns in it. He reached for me. I stepped back. The rain outside was relentless, unforgiving. I slept on the couch that night, if you can call it sleep. Every memory replayed itself, every smile, every promise. I wondered how long it had been happening. I wondered how blind I had chosen to be. Morning came quietly, gray and wet. He tried to talk again. I asked him to leave. He didn't fight. That hurt too. The door closed softly behind him, too softly for something so final. The apartment felt empty, even though everything was still there. The rain continued, as if nothing had changed, but everything had. The rain didn't stop after he left. It never does when you need it to. I stayed on the couch long after the door closed, listening, waiting for something inside me to react. Anger didn't come, neither did tears. There was only a strange emptiness, as if someone had quietly removed a vital organ while I wasn't looking. I walked through the apartment slowly, touching things. The mug he always used, the jacket he forgot behind the door. Everything felt staged, like a life paused mid-scene. Rain blurred the city outside, lights melting into each other, nothing sharp anymore. I wondered when exactly I stopped being enough, or if I ever was. That question haunted me for days. Friends called. I didn't answer. My mother left a voicemail. I deleted it without listening. I didn't want explanations or comfort. I wanted silence. Rain provided that. At night, memories became louder. His laugh, his hand on my back, the way he said my name when he thought I was asleep. I realized betrayal doesn't destroy love immediately. It poisons it slowly. I still loved him, and that felt like betrayal too. He texted on the third day. Just one message. "Can we talk?" I stared at the screen for a long time, rain tapping against the window like a countdown. I said yes. We met in the same cafe where everything began, because irony never asks permission. He looked tired, smaller somehow. He talked first. Apologies, regret, confusion. He said he felt invisible, unseen, unappreciated. I listened quietly, not because I agreed, but because I needed to understand. He said she made him feel alive again, desired. Those words cut deeper than the truth itself. I asked him if he loved me. He didn't answer immediately. Silence is also an answer. "I care about you," he said finally. Care, not love. I stood up, my legs shaking. Rain pressed against the windows like it wanted to come inside. "I loved you," I said. Past tense. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. Some distances cannot be crossed twice. After that, days blended together. Rain, sleep, coffee without taste. I went through his absence like withdrawal, painful, unpredictable. Sometimes I blamed myself. Sometimes I blamed him. Most of the time, I blamed the quiet. People think betrayal is loud, explosive, dramatic, but it's mostly quiet. It whispers. It erodes. I stopped checking my phone, stopped waiting. The rain became my companion, consistent, honest. One evening, I found an old photo, us on the balcony, rain behind us, laughing. I didn't cry. I smiled sadly. That was when I understood something important. Love doesn't end when someone leaves. It ends when you stop recognizing yourself. And I didn't recognize the woman I had become. So I started rebuilding. Slowly. I changed the furniture, opened the windows even when it rained. I let the sound in. I started writing again. At night, when memories were strongest. Words helped me breathe. Weeks passed, then months. He tried again. Another message. Another apology. I didn't respond. Forgiveness doesn't always require reunion. One night, during a storm, the power went out. The apartment plunged into darkness. I lit a candle, sat by the window. Rain drummed fiercely, unapologetic. I felt something unexpected. Peace. Not happiness, not yet, but acceptance. I realized betrayal taught me something love never did. That I could survive loss. That I could sit alone with my thoughts. That I could listen to rain without feeling abandoned. When morning came, the rain softened, almost gentle. The city looked clean, washed. I made coffee, stood barefoot on the cold floor. Life didn't end. It rearranged itself. Sometimes I still think of him, of us, but the pain no longer owns me. Rain still falls. It always will. But now, I let it pass through me, not drown me. The rain changed its rhythm after that night. It no longer felt like an intrusion, more like a presence, something that stayed without demanding anything from me. I began to notice small things again. The way mornings smelled after rainfall, the sound of tires on wet asphalt, the quiet intimacy of streets emptied by weather. I walked more, sometimes without direction, letting rain soak my coat, letting cold remind me that I was alive. Healing didn't arrive as a revelation. There was no sudden clarity, no moment of triumph. It came in fragments, in pauses between thoughts, in nights when I slept without replaying the past. I stopped asking why. Why him? Why her? Why not enough? Those questions never lead anywhere. They only circle the wound. One afternoon, while rain painted the city gray again, I received a message from a number I hadn't deleted, but hadn't saved either. I hope you're well. Just that. No apology, no explanation. I stared at the words, feeling nothing dramatic. No shaking hands, no tight chest, just distance. I didn't reply, not out of bitterness, but because silence finally felt honest. Some conversations end long before the last words are spoken. I realized I had forgiven him, not in the way movies show, not with tears or embraces, but quietly, by letting go of the version of him I had loved. Forgiveness doesn't always reconnect. Sometimes it releases. The apartment began to feel like mine again, walls breathing differently, corners less heavy. I moved his forgotten jacket to a donation box, not ceremoniously, just practically. It felt right. Rain accompanied every step of that process, as if it approved. One night, I dreamed of him, but he had no face, just a silhouette fading into rain. I woke up calm. That was new. Weeks later, spring tried to break through the clouds. Rain softened, became warmer. I sat by the window with a cup of tea, listening, not waiting anymore. I understood something I wish I had known earlier. Love is not proven by staying. It's proven by honesty. And betrayal is not always about someone else. Sometimes it's about abandoning truth. I didn't hate him. Hate requires energy, and I had learned to conserve mine. I loved myself enough now to choose peace. The rain still falls in my life, on anniversaries, on random days, on memories that haven't fully faded. But it no longer feels like judgment. It feels like continuity, a reminder that everything moves, even pain. If you asked me today whether I regret loving him, I would say no. Love shaped me, betrayal revealed me, and rain taught me how to stay. Not frozen, not broken, just present, listening, breathing, alive.
Sometimes pain doesn't come from enemies, but from the ones we trusted the most. Maybe that's how life teaches us to see the truth. Could you forgive such a betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. More stories are coming, stories that will touch your heart.